All right, I'm on Jezza today, or Jefferson as you guys would know him. And I'm already warmed up, and I just want to talk through a couple of movements of what I'd maybe normally do with them. Once I'm warmed up, I quite often go into leg yielding with Jezza, and the reason being I do that first almost because he's a really sharp horse. He's very sensitive, you know, so I feel in the first 10 minutes of when I'm riding, I get an overreaction to my leg, for example. So if I just touch him with my leg, I get a, you know, a bit of a severe reaction. And it's just because he's a sharp horse and he's not relaxed for the first 10 minutes. So I like to, So I like to do the leg yielding and just get the feeling of him moving off my leg. Now, what I must point out is, you know, it's not a dressage test that I'm searching for to go and do with Jefferson. It's about jumping in the ring. It's about him being comfortable of me putting my leg on and me get a movement and him becomes more supple in the body and inevitably become a more rideable, supple horse, and that's what I'm looking for. So I call it leg yielding, but maybe dressage, they'll want more angle in the movements, and they need absolute perfection. I'm not looking for absolute perfection. It's to get a more rideable horse, more supple horse. So, right, I'm going to go and do a little bit. I think what's good bit of advice is if you're just starting to teach your horse how to do leg yielding, then you can't expect that they just know what you're doing when you put your leg on and that they're going to do it, you know. You've got to educate them, we've got to teach them how to do it. So my advice would be slow the exercise right back down, go back to walk, do it all in walk first. You can teach a horse a lot of movements just by walking first, and if they understand it, what we're asking, it becomes so much easier in our trot and canter work. But they've got to understand it first. We can't just expect that they know what we're going on about, you know, when we put our leg on. So what's the correct aids for doing my leg yielding? If I'm walking up the middle here and I want to leg yield to the wall, I want to put my left leg comes back slightly, because right now it's a little bit forward. Come back slightly, press with my leg, sit tall with my body, so that when I put my leg on, that doesn't mean get quicker. It means go sideways, because I've got no pressure on with my right leg. And I open my right hand. So left leg, open the right hand, and then that's just you asking. The horse then moves away from that pressure and into the gap where you're asking him to move into. Yeah, so that's the correct aids to ask them to do it. Now, if your horse, you know, feel what your horse is doing, you know, if you start to get a reaction like that, then our leg's too far forward, too much bend, and we're not opening our right hand. Go straight, just slide your left leg back a bit, open the right hand, and then we just get a more leg yielding movement, and then straight again, outside leg, and then straight again. So I hope that makes sense. I'm going to just do a little bit more in trot there now. When I'm doing it, I like to, if I, for example, come off the 3/4 line on one side and leg yield to the wall, I like to do the opposite on the other side, just so that they don't get attached to the wall and they're comfortable about moving away from the wall. And then straight. So I'm just asking, you know, he has to stay straight in his body when we're doing the movement. You know, I don't, at the same time of what I was explaining, if I've moved my left leg back too much, the quarters then lead. That's too severe. The shoulder has to lead the movement. So your left leg should be just parallel to your right. Open your right hand, and then you can feel when it feels right. Good lad, good. All right, so hopefully that's making sense. So on this side, because I'm leg yielding the other way, it's the opposite aid. So open my left hand, right leg. And then straight. I'm happy with, once I've felt it move off my leg for 3 or 4 strides, that's what I'm looking for. You know, you can ask for a bit more if you want, or not as much. And when you're first teaching them, go leg yield for a bit, then straight for a bit. Then again, put the pressure on, and then away. So, you know, if you get an overreaction and them rush off your leg, then take your leg off, you know, don't, you know, it's all about teaching them and getting them to understand the movement of what we're asking. Good boy, and then straight. And then one time on the other way. Oh, lad. Good, so then I might change the rein and do the same on the other rein. I'll just do it once there for you, and then, but I would always be trying to do the same on both reins so that we're muscling them up even and they're understanding. Both ways need to be, oh good lad, oh boy, squeaky. Both reins need to be the same. You know, we can't have them getting one-sided on us for our jumping job. Good boy. Good boy. So it's not like I'm asking for, you know, I don't want him diving to the wall or anything, you know. I just want to get the feeling of him moving off my leg and being comfortable about it. And then in the end, I get a more relaxed horse after this movement and a more supple horse. He uses his body in a better way. So that's what I'm searching for from this exercise. Relaxation is a big thing I work on with Jezza, just because he gets quite uptight, and obviously we only get the best results from our horse when he's relaxed and understand what we're asking, you know. So good lad. So hopefully that's helped a little bit, and just understanding it and trying to teach them our leg yielding.